Have you ever received a message that says, "Hi Mum, I've lost my phone. This is my new number." Or perhaps, "Dad, my phone is broken. Can you message me on WhatsApp?" It sounds innocent. It sounds urgent. And it sounds like it could genuinely be from your child or grandchild. But for thousands of people across the UK, that message is the beginning of a scam. My name is Sarah, and welcome to Scam Watch UK. In this series, I explain how modern scams work, why they catch so many sensible people out, and the practical steps you can take to protect yourself and your family. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this scam works and the warning signs that can help you spot it before any damage is done, because once you know what to look for, you can never unsee it. Let's imagine a typical situation. Margaret is 68 years old and lives alone. One afternoon she receives a text message. It says, "Hi Mum, I've dropped my phone in water. This is my temporary number." Margaret has a son. The message seems believable. The writing style feels normal. Nothing immediately looks suspicious. She replies. Within minutes, the conversation moves to WhatsApp. The person explains they cannot access online banking on their new phone. They say they need help paying an urgent bill. Perhaps it's rent. Perhaps it's a replacement phone. Perhaps it's a deposit for something important. The amount sounds manageable. A few £100s. The message feels genuine. After all, what parent wouldn't help their child if they could? Margaret transfers the money. Then another request arrives. And another. Only later does she discover that her son never sent any of the messages. The entire conversation was with a criminal. The details may change from scam to scam, but the techniques are often remarkably similar. So now let's take a closer look at how this particular scam works, because once you understand the criminal's approach, you're much more likely to recognize it if it ever happens to you or someone you care about. Criminals send thousands of messages to random phone numbers. They don't know who will respond. Most people ignore the message, but some people reply. And that's all the scammer needs. Once somebody responds, the criminal starts building trust. They pretend to be a son, a daughter, a grandson, or a granddaughter. The conversation often feels natural. The scammer may ask questions that encourage the victim to reveal information. They carefully adapt their story as the conversation develops. The goal is always the same: to persuade the victim to send money. Sometimes the request arrives within minutes. Sometimes the criminal spends hours building trust before asking. Either way, the outcome is the same. Money leaves the victim's account and goes directly to the scammer. One of the most important things to understand about scams is this: being scammed does not mean somebody is foolish. These scams are designed by people who understand human emotions. This scam works because it targets something powerful: family. Most parents and grandparents instinctively want to help, especially when they believe a loved one is facing a problem. The scammer creates urgency. The victim feels pressure to act quickly. And when urgency and emotion combine, our normal caution often disappears. That is exactly what the criminal is hoping for. Although every scam is different, criminals often rely on the same psychological techniques. That means there are warning signs you can learn to recognize, whatever the story they're telling. Let's look at the most important ones. The first warning sign is a new phone number. The message almost always includes an explanation for why the sender is using a different number. Perhaps their phone was lost, broken, stolen, or damaged. That explanation is designed to stop you asking questions. Whenever somebody claims to be a family member using a new number, slow down and verify first. The second warning sign is an urgent financial problem. The scammer nearly always introduces a situation that requires money. It might be a bill, a deposit, a replacement phone, or a temporary banking problem. the exact story changes. The request for money does not. The third warning sign is pressure. The scammer wants quick decisions. They do not want you contacting the real family member. They do not want you stopping to think. Whenever somebody is pushing for immediate payment, treat that as a warning sign. Recognizing the warning signs is a great first step, but spotting a scam is only half the battle. The next step is knowing how to respond calmly and safely. Fortunately, there are a few simple actions you can take that will stop most scams in their tracks. Let's look at what to do if you ever find yourself in this situation. First, don't panic. Second, don't send money. And third, verify the person's identity independently. Use the phone number you already have for your child or grandchild. Call them directly. If they don't answer, try another family member. The important thing is to use contact details you already trust, not the details provided in the message. That single step prevents most family impersonation scams. If you remember only one thing from today's episode, make it this: stop, call, verify. Before sending money, before updating contact details, before continuing the conversation, call the person using the number you already know. A genuine family member will understand. A scammer won't want you to do it. 3 words: stop, call, verify. Scammers succeed because they exploit trust. But trust can also be your strongest defense. A quick phone call can stop a scam before it starts. And remember, these scams are designed to deceive ordinary people. They target emotions. They create urgency. And they can fool anyone. The good news is that a simple habit can make a huge difference. Whenever somebody claims to be a family member using a new number, take a moment. Slow down. Call them directly. And verify. Because now you know how it works. And that changes everything. Until next time, I'm Sarah. Stay sharp. They're counting on you not to.